Hello, this is Annie Patel,
And this is Sufyan
and today we will be discussing Nectar in a Sieve.
by Camila Marcandeo. Before we discuss the topics, we are going to introduce the book to you.
The story begins with the main character, Rukmani, who gets married to a poor farmer named Nathan. She settles into the farming life as Nathan is kind and loving. The main problem is that she only had one child, a daughter named Ira, after 6 years of marriage. The tradition for Indian culture of pride is to have a son. Rukmani was not able to have a son. So she went to her doctor, Kenny, to ask him to help her get a son. He fertilized her, and in a few years after that, she gave birth to 5 sons. The story continues telling how she had problems. They didn't have enough money to feed the children, and all that other stuff. So we will go into the topics now. Hunger is one of the 12 topics we are going to talk about today. Hunger is the main problem in the book. Because of low income and being poor in Rukmani's household, it was hard to be able to feed the whole family. In the book, Rukmani nearly becomes a killer or a murderer because she thought Kunti, which is one of the women who live in her village, came to her house to steal their last grain of rice.
The second topic in the book discussed is truth. Rukmani is always truthful. In the book, Rukmani exhibits the Hindu beliefs that truth transcends all other moral values.
In the book, Rukmani was always truthful. She never stole anything until it came to the end where her family was in trouble. She tried to do anything she could to help her family.
Suffering is another important topic in The Nectar and the Sieve. Suffering is a fact of life in The Nectar and the Sieve. Characters suffer financially, but also suffer in deeper ways. Rukmani watches her children starve, and her family breaks apart. Nevertheless, after a while, he did go to her, and his gentleness melted her last remnants of control, for she began to weep. I heard her cry for a long time. This quote means, when Ira breaks down, Rukmani doesn't go to her. Rukmani feels ashamed for Ira's suffering.
Another topic in the book is poverty. In the book, poverty is the everyday reality for the characters in this book. Everyone faces poverty throughout this book somehow. In the beginning of the book, Rukmani faced poverty, and that is why she had to be married to a farmer because her parents couldn't afford to keep her. After she got married, Nathan, her husband, was a farmer who was poor already. After they had their children, they had 6 children, and they soon after could not afford those children. Throughout the book, it shows how they had to go to prostitution and killing, thieves, all of that just to support their family. A quote in the book is, I would do so if only it were in my hands, but what comfort can one offer a man who sees his whole family dependent on him and no one else to see to them? This quote basically explains how Rukmani tells Nathan that he should be worried because the whole family does rely on him. But yes, she knows the truth that her family is in poverty.
Another topic in Nectar and the Sieve is the home, safety and protection. Throughout the book, Nathan and Rukmani dream to go back to their old home, which was a memory of life they once had.
Power is another important force in Nectar and a Sieve. In the book, the novel explains how the characters are powerless against their circumstances they have to face. I will ask Ken to help you. White men have power. Indeed they have, he said bitterly, over man, events, and especially our women. That quote explains how the white man, Kenny, which was the doctor in this novel, explains how the white men have greater power than the 9 white men.
Yeah.
We will be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Hugh Jackman. In the year 2000, 189 of the world's leaders made a promise to improve the lives of the world's poorest by the year 2015. 9 years on, 1.4 billion people still live in extreme poverty. It's time for us to re-energise this movement. Starting July 4th, the Global Poverty Project will be coming to communities across Australia to present 1.4 billion reasons. So please join us. The time is now.
And we are back to the news discussing Nectar in a Sieve.
Welcome back. The first topic we are going to be discussing right now is women. Women were still not as equal as men.
Do you think women are equal as men right now in our society?
Yes, but to a certain extent. But women in this novel did not have power, and even though Rukmani had an education, she still did not have all the rights men did back then.
Another topic in this book is forgiveness. The characters have to learn and manage to forgive other characters. Throughout the novel, the characters don't understand why or what the other characters are doing. For example, Rukmani doesn't understand Kunti's way of living life. She doesn't understand why she went to prostitution, or she doesn't understand why Kenny, the doctor, how he views the world as it's suffering. Overall, forgiveness is a main topic because everyone needs to overcome it. They have to learn to forgive.
Love is another major topic in Nectar in a Sieve. Nectar in a Sieve is full of all kinds of love. Family love, romantic love, children love, and abstract love of life in this novel. In the beginning of this novel, Rukmani wanted love, and throughout the story, she thought she couldn't be able to live without it. And by the end of this novel, when she comes back home, she makes peace with herself and her family.
In the novel, everything is being transformed. Characters are being transformed by hardships as well as learning how to endure difficulties. The town itself is being transformed. For example, the town in Nectar in a Sieve is being transformed by a tannery which disrupts tradition and the environment. The world is becoming modern in this book.
My last and final topic is life. Life means different things to different characters. For Rukmani, it is an opportunity for endurance and spiritual cleansing through suffering. For Nathan, it is about finding little joys and simple pleasures. Kenny's life is about helping those who suffer regardless of the cost of oneself. Life meaning is a dramatic thing and changes with circumstances. The characters struggle and find meaning in their own way.
Our last topic that we're going to be discussing with you tonight is religion. Religion has a big impact on me, you, him, her, everybody, even our family. Religion is one of the main topics discussed in Nectar in a Sieve. In Nectar in a Sieve, the whole book revolves around one main religion that each character follows, Hinduism. Hinduism is one of the major religions in India. Rukmani is very religious in this book and follows the Hindu religion really accurately. The Hindu religion is very strict. There are many rules in it. One of the rules are that the cow is very sacred to us. Because the cow is very sacred to us, that's why they had complications during the book when one of the brothers had to go to a cow killing farm to get money for their family. But what had to be done to support their family. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's news.
My name's Annie Patel.
My name's Sufyan.
And we're here to say
Good night, Chicago.